Welcome inside a regular weekly edition of the Scores Table. My name is Brian Hench and Danny Regal. Courtney Dulks here with you. We have a couple guests lined up for tonight's show. We're going to be joined by Avon senior Aniah Smith. This on the heels of them winning over Plainfield. They rallied to pick up Plainfield. We'll talk about that with Aniah in a little bit. And then Fort Wayne Snyder coach Reggie Tharp. Excited to talk with Reggie. They got a special freshman up there at Snyder, obviously a Miss Basketball commit or a finalist who's now playing at Courtney's alma mater, Purdue. So lots to get to with those two. Let's while we wait for Aniah to come on, guys, let's talk about the game that Danny was at. I was watching online. Noblesville HSE. HSE holds off Noblesville for a 4-point win. I was interested, Danny. I'll start the conversation with this and the thing that we were talking about before. Just really impressed from the first time that I saw Noblesville against Chatard to tonight, where a variety of kids were stepping up, and we kind of got to see it. Kate Rollins had a really good game. Like, she really popped out. Cece Quigley was solid. Maya Blower, the freshman point guard, played well. They had some other kids hitting some shots, but Noblesville kind of showing off their depth. And on the other side, we saw HSC that, they had to win with Maya being contained. She was held to six field goal attempts, and they found a way to win.
From the Noblesville side first, you can implement scheme, but there still also has to be some execution and some scout mixed into that. And we talked last time about how HSE likes to run a lot of their flare action for Maya at the top, just a series of flare screens. And the stuff that they were running should have worked against their zone. They were running box and one. But I thought Tipner was playing the bottom of the zone. I thought she shaded out on that flare action, and she wasn't the only one. So, yes, they ran the box and one. Kate Rollins and Maya Blower at one point, Meredith even for a possession. But mainly Kate Rollins drew the assignment. And I think that was the same formula, Hank, that they employed last year in the sectionals to knock HSC out, was that box and one, and we saw it again, and they almost did it.
Noblesville was known for that 1-3-1, but it was during that state run last year at times, the year in between there at times. Just Donna has these little defenses that she'll pull out of her pocket and throw out there. And even if you kind of have an idea, sense that it's coming, it's so hard to operate against them. And a big reason why is Tipner, I feel like, because of her length. But Donna just does such a good job of coaching her girls up and having them ready to adjust and morph into those defenses and flourish.
Yeah, they ran a flat 3-2 zone against Homestead. So now it's already the third defense that we've seen. So I think Donna's probably going to scout and execute her way through this thing. But they'll be a very tough out. And I'm sure that HSC doesn't want to see them for obvious reasons, the recent history as soon as last year. But tonight, it looked like Noblesville's night there for a minute.
Yeah, it did. And then on the other side, I mentioned earlier, but HSC, I think it's as simple as we saw them grind out a low-scoring win. They had to find a way to beat Fremd from Illinois, Chicago Fremd. Tonight, Noblesville, they held Maya scoreless through the first quarter, which is almost unheard of. And then I think she finished with, 7 points?
I think.
7 points, and she had 7 points, and that was midway through the third quarter. 3:16 left, she had 7 points. And I tweeted that out specifically because I was curious, when's she going to go off? When's she going to take off? And this will be the reference point is 3:16 in the third quarter. She had 7 points. Well, that's where she finished. And I think that's largely a testament, like you were talking about, to Noblesville's defense. But for HSC, you get Kayla Stidham. She had 3 3-pointers, finished with 15 points, 7 rebounds, 3 steals. Kennedy Holman, KK had 17 points as well, 3 assists, 7 rebounds.
Yeah, I was sitting close enough tonight where you could hear the conversations that were happening on the floor between the Noblesville players. They knew exactly what they were doing. I mean, they even when Maya was out of the game, they boxed and one Stidham. So they characterized tonight as, we're going to dare Holman and Stidham to beat them, and to their credit, they did. I mean, you said Holman had 17?
Yeah,
17. Stidham was probably up there, 15. I think you said. They dared them to beat them, and they did. I mean, it was a great performance by those two. I mean, KK was doing things in the open floor and finishing. When she gets downhill with her right hand, I mean, her prettiest move tonight, she actually missed, but she had 3 really strong right hand finishes, downhill attacks. I was getting Spider Jones vibes for sure.
Yeah, she had some really impressive shots, and that segues perfectly, Danny, as I bring in our first guest, Aniah Smith here. We're going to get to see those two of the best point guards in the area, probably in the state, go head-to-head here in just a few days, actually, as we welcome aboard Aniah Smith. Aniah is coming off a big win last night over Plainfield. She's
Hi,
also broken on the
yes.
school's all-time scoring record. Aniah, what's up?
Hi. Oh shoot, sorry, my computer. Nothing really. What's up with you guys?
Not much. So let's start with that game last night and that win over Plainfield. You guys are down what? You're down 9 at halftime, down 7 going into the fourth quarter. Then you find a way to come back and win. Just how did you guys pull that off?
Especially like at that halftime time, when we got in the locker room, all we were saying was like, we got it. We just need to keep that fight going on. Like we know how we can play. We play in practice and stuff. We play with so much heart. We just needed to pull that out, and not get too down on ourselves. Like we missed a few shots, yeah, some turnovers, but sorry, this one is crazy. But we missed a few shots and let some shooters get open, but we knew we could stop on defense and make our open shots.
Speaking of the defense, I was texting with your coach last night with Will, and he said you guys are in a lot of man-to-man and just were defending, guarding them like crazy, I guess, and able to have some success turning them over.
Oh yeah. Nevada, she did foul out like mid fourth quarter, but her defense on everybody was really good. I think Kaylee's defense was pretty good on everybody. My defense, I think we all played good team, like man-to-man defense. We had good help side, especially our post, Erica. She came up with some good blocks down the stretch, so I think that helped us as well.
Aniah, I got you from here on out. First, it's nice to meet you. And I agree with the wind. It's like 40-mile-an-hour gust out here in the country where I'm at. Yes. I feel like our pole barns are already like blow over, so I feel like on the wind.
I'm right by the window too, and it's like I feel like my window's about to bust.
Absolutely. So I'm just gonna rattle off a couple of really open-ended questions with you, so that our number one, I want to get to know Aniah more, and I want our audience to be able to get to know Aniah as a basketball player and also as a person more. And so my first question, it's a real hard one, is what do you like about the game of basketball? Like, when did you fall in love with it, and why do you enjoy basketball?
I think I fell in love with it more like young, early. I really enjoy like I can meet so many people and make relationships. I think it's just fun to get out and be competitive with people. Like I enjoy a lot of sports, but basketball I just really kind of fell in love with, like, because you can meet so many different people, like AAU tournaments. Like it just is really fun, especially when you're with a good team. It feels kind of like family, like a second home. So
absolutely. Most players have, some role models or other players that we look up to. Have there been any particular players that you really have enjoyed watching, or like who are some of the players now that you would say that you really watch and try to emulate their game?
If I'm being honest, I've always loved Steph Curry. Like Stephen Curry's been like the main person I sit and watch all the time. Like I really try to model my game, like trying to move and stuff like he does. I like the way he can get to his spots when he needs to. I also enjoy watching Kyrie because he can really like move down the floor and get to his spots whenever. Like I like his backboard shot he does. I try to use that often in the game, and I like the floater. Just like I try to watch like smaller guards to see what I can use in the game.
I love that you already are using that in your game, because you get down in there in the trees.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard down there, but being able to really always say like the logo in front of the free throw line, if you can make your layup and you can just pull up consistently, then the defense has come out and contest you. And then if they do that, that's when you can blow by them. So I love that you have that as part of your game. That's going to really, really help you when you go to Jacksonville State. So being 5'4" as a point guard, and you're extremely talented. You're moving into the scoring record. You're averaging, I believe, is it 25 a game right now? It's drastically improved every year since your freshman year. What would you say? Because I truly believe, yes, we're born with unique abilities, but those abilities have to be developed. Behind the scenes, can you give us an inside look at what you do like during the off season, during like how much that you work on your game? Because we have a lot of young listeners that listen to this podcast. I just want them to hear from Aniah Smith, like, this is what it's like if you want to become a great player.
Yeah, I'm definitely like, especially off season, I'm in the gym almost every day. I try to get, well, like summer kind of, we'll have, the summer basketball with your team. So I try to obviously go 100% during that time. But then like when I'm out by myself, I just try to get in 2 hours. I try to get a lift in and then I really try to work on my shot. That's what I've been trying to work on from my freshman year, just shooting the three consistently and making like that mid-range, like you said, make it like my layup. I've been trying to get consistent. So I kind of work on just getting the form shooting right for a little bit. Then I get my handles dribbling into my shot. Really just been working on that. I've been also working on my passing, trying to see the floor, and then a lot of running because trying to get conditioned because, playing a lot. Sometimes I get tired, but can't have that anymore too much.
Absolutely. One of your superpowers is your speed. Is that something that's just a natural, or do you work on speed training, or is that just something that is a unique gift to you?
I've always been fast. Like, honestly, I've always been pretty fast since I was a kid, but I've definitely been working really hard on that, like doing speed training, the agility ladder, things like that. When we're with our lifting coaches for like APC, we call it speed and strength, we work on that a lot. We work on our speed a lot, and accelerating. Then off season, I kind of work with my dad with that. My dad and my uncle trying to get me fast so I can fast and in shape too.
Yeah, absolutely. If I were to ask you, obviously you've been very successful up to this point. What are your dreams that you have for the future that's ahead for Aniah?
Well, kind of short term here. I want to be an Indiana All-Star. I'm looking to try to achieve that.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I get to college, I just want to play as best as I can, try to give my team the best of me, hit shots when I can. I really kind of want to focus on my defense when I'm at Jacksonville, passing and all that. After that, I also like real far in the future, I want to try to come back to the community, trying to train with kids, do that. I'm trying to work on that now too, but I want to become a coach maybe as well.
Love it.
Aniah, you mentioned you wanted to be an Indiana All-Star next year. You were last year too with the juniors. Just what was that experience like for you, getting a chance to represent, with some of the state's best juniors?
That was a really good experience. Just meeting all the people. Playing them is kind of different, but being on the same team, it feels good. That competing when you're on the same floor, I mean, it can get a little hostile sometimes, just in the stretch of the game. But I think they're all really cool people, and it was a really fun experience.
Another tough question for you. What's on your Christmas list? Christmas is coming up.
I don't know. My mom and my family have been asking me that for a while. I don't really know. I don't really want too many things. I think I might want a new tattoo, maybe.
Do you know what it would be? Your new tat?
It's probably gonna be something on my arm, but I haven't thought too much about it. Yeah, I've just been kind of thinking about what I'm gonna get other people. I haven't been thinking too much about what I want per se.
That's a very point guard answer. Like you like to hand out the assist, even on Christmas gift giving.
Yes. Maybe some shoes too. I don't know. But yeah.
I gotta know. So what's your favorite pair of shoes to hoop in?
Ooh, that's a hard.
Because you like Steph?
No, I haven't even because for AAU I've been Adidas, so I can't really wear that. And then for Avon it's Nike, so I can't really wear too many Under Armours. But right now I have some LeBrons. They're pretty good, but like I feel like all the shoes I've gotten recently, they've been like not durable. So like they've been breaking and stuff. So I don't know. But I want some Kobe's. So those I think look the best. But
all right, there, Mama Smith. There you go, helping out on the Christmas list there. Yeah.
But Kobe's are so expensive, so I don't even know about asking for that. But I like the LeBrons I have. The GT cuts are cool, but the LeBrons I have right now is nice. Yeah. Oh, actually, I'm lying. Paul George's are the best shoes.
Okay, we got that out of you. Pulled it right out. So what do you like to do outside of basketball? Because you're more than a basketball player, right? So do you have any other sports you enjoy doing? Any hobbies, or is it really just you're dialed right now?
Yeah, it's I don't really have too many other sports I play. Like, I mean, I play football for fun, but that's just for fun. Like, not a consistent thing. I work a lot, though. I work at Sky Zone, so I do that a lot, and then just hanging out with my friends and family. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. We just took our kids to Sky Zone down in Indy a few weeks ago. It's a good place.
Yeah.
So what would you say if you were to go back, let's say, and give advice to your 10-year-old self? What would you tell yourself?
Just to keep working, honestly. People are going to doubt you, especially because I'm short, but just keep working. You know what you can do, and just stay consistent and stay within yourself. Don't compare yourself to others and what they're doing. Just really focus on you, and you'll start to stand out and show everybody what you can do.
I do mindset training with a lot of high performers, Aniah. What do you feel, especially being 5'4", right? There could be blockages of, you're too short. I'm sure you've had people say that to you all the time, but obviously your result and your performance, like, you don't buy into that, and you know who you are. What do you do personally to take care of your mindset and to, like, I call it mental conditioning, just like how you got to condition every day? Like, what do you do to lock in your mindset?
I try to meditate before the games, just to get myself ready, visualize like what I kind of want to do on the floor. But other than that, like when I'm in the game, like I try to give myself, practice. When I'm in practice, I try to give myself the most pressure, like go 100%. So like in the game, it's like no different from practice. And then like outside of that, I try to listen to music, get myself like kind of calm and like not listen to so much outside noise. Like 5 minutes before the game, I'm really focused, locked in, like quiet space. So when I get in the game, it's all cool.
Do you have a pregame playlist that you listen to?
Not really. It's really just Drake. That's all I'm listening to. If I'm being honest.
I was a pregame Drake listener too. I can vibe with that with you. It's awesome.
R&B Drake.
Yeah, very cool. Why Jacksonville State?
Because I feel like the head coach, Special Jennings, she's a small point guard too. I feel like she understands what it's like to be a small point guard, and I'm glad she gave me a chance to really showcase what I can do over there. But yeah, I just think their whole coaching staff was really good, really nice, and they want a small guard kind of, and looks for someone who can play with heart and stuff, not so much like this height. So yeah.
Aniah, I'm curious on the basketball side of things at Avon. Looking at last year, you guys were having such a strong season kind of run, and then it seemed like the middle of January kind of hit a wall. and then you lost your last and what happened down the stretch last year, and what do you do this season to try and prevent that from happening again?
Man, last year I feel like we did kind of hit that brick wall, like you said. I think we kind of got burnt out a little. Like, we gave so much in the beginning of the season, and we didn't have too much like real push towards the end of our season. I think to prevent that right now, we've been running more, getting more cardio, and like I feel like because our senior class is so much, like so many people, I feel like we all really, really want it. Like, are really like everybody right now I feel is playing like it's our last game ever. And I think we're just gonna keep on going on to that momentum, because like when it comes that February time sectionals, that will be our last chance to be on the floor in an Avon jersey. So I think us just keeping with that motivation, I think we should be good.
And I've been a big fan of your game. You know that. It's good to see. I talked to Richard and Will about you, and they've raved about you. And I've been just watching you just get baskets is something else. But brag on your teammates for a minute. Tell us a little bit that something that our audience would need to know about your teammates.
Okay. Let me start. I think McKaylee Butts, I think she can get a bucket at any time, honestly. She got the handles for it. She can hit the three and the mid range, I think, and she's really strong. And her defense, very good, very good. She can lock. I think she can lock tons of people up. I hate to say it, but she can get me sometimes when we're playing at practice. Maya, shooter, one of the best shooters I've seen. And her defense is getting way better too. So I think she brings a lot to the table, and her passes are great. Her court vision is good. Who else? Oh, Erica, one of our posts, big, tall. I think she sees the ball well. She can put back, finish, good for us. She rebounds, especially in that Plainfield game. Her blocks at the very end of the game against Hannah, that was really good. We needed that to get us the ball and win. Let me think. Oh, Ella too. Ella Robinson, shooter, just like Maya, can knock down the three whenever. And Avea, we all know she can play defense. I think her shot's been getting better too.
And Maya just committed to Franklin College today, right?
Oh yeah, I did just see that too.
Yeah. So that's cool, and congratulations to her. How did you guys match up with Plainfield last night? Like, who was your assignment?
I think beginning of the game, I think I had Berkeley, maybe. I can't really tell you honestly. It's kind of, we just really, me, Nevaeh, McKaylee, and Kaylee Williams, we just sat and we know we can guard all of them. So that's what we kind of did. We just tried to switch off whenever we can. Like when one of us is tired, be like, hey, you guard her, whatever. So I think we just kind of talked it out. It wasn't too much like, I have to guard this person this whole game. It was just really like, who can do it right now? And we all know we can defend. So I think just having that good defensive skill just helped us a lot.
Just kind of pick up whoever's there, just kind of do a possession by possession almost?
Yes, exactly.
Is that how you guys normally defend, or is that kind of like a wrinkle that you threw out for this just to see how it worked against Plainfield?
I think we kind of usually try to do that because like I said, I think we all are I think our team is a really good defensive group. I think that we just, when we're on the floor, like we try to talk it out, like whoever's there, pick them up, we try to guard the basket first, and then like whoever's open from there, like talk about it. That's really our thing. We just try to talk a lot. Because we know we're all kind of short, so I think we can all switch 1 through 5, and even our bigs can guard when they need to. So I just feel like we all can play defense. So we kind of just whoever's there, guard them, and then we'll switch off when we need to.
Awesome. One last question for you, and I will get you out with this one. Obviously, it's months away. Avon hasn't won a sectional since 92 and 93. What would it mean for you as a senior to go out and finally get them over that hump in your final year?
That is the goal. I feel like it will mean a lot because, like you said, since the 90s, I wasn't even alive, wasn't even thought of. So, I think that it'll be good for our program. Honestly, just like I feel like we deserve kind of the recognition of getting the sectional championship because we work so hard in practice, and I think that that'll be a really good thing to get, especially my senior year, like our senior year. I think that's the best way to end off a season.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Aniah, for jumping on with us. It was great talking with you, and I'll be seeing you soon out at the game.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Take care.
You too. Bye.
See you, Aniah.
It was Aniah Smith of Avon. She's great, man.
Yeah, that's great.
That was a lot of fun.
Great interview.
That was a lot of fun. As we wait for Reggie Tharp to join us here, Fort Wayne Snyder's girls basketball coach. Courtney, why don't you just give us something to talk about before your computer dies?
Yeah, we'll see where we're at. 7%. Here we go. Let's see. Let's talk about what's on your guys' Christmas list. Checking it twice.
Well, that's a good question. I haven't even had time to think about it. I honestly, it just dawned on me that we're already into December the other day. I guess it's already we're already a third of the way into the girls' basketball season.
Isn't that wild? I feel like pretty soon we'll be talking about sectional time.
Yeah, it's crazy. I kind of wanted to ask Aniah about that too, and with Plainfield, dive into a little bit more. But they're probably going to see them 2 more times between county and then potentially in sectional too. I'll let you two discuss Christmas presents while I try and reach out to our next guest.
But before you get off the hook here, you just went out to St. Louis, back to see family. What was your favorite thing that you had for Thanksgiving, your Thanksgiving meal? Are you guys traditional meal, or do you guys switch it up?
Yeah, it was a traditional meal. We went to my aunt's house, so it was a traditional meal. She did this great cranberry sauce. I'm a big cranberry sauce person.
Oh, you're the one.
Yeah, I'm the one. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah. Courtney, how about you? What'd you do for the holiday?
We had gatherings with family, so I went over to my parents on Thanksgiving Day. Then we actually do what's called the tour of homes the Saturday, so the day after, 2 days after Thanksgiving, where we go around to each person's house and my side of the family, and it's like a progressive dinner, see the Christmas lights, toys for the kids. So we were the appetizer house. So we had crab stuffed mushrooms, Pioneer Woman caviar, cowboy caviar, smoked salmon like you can get at Bungee's or Bongee's, however you say it, wherever you're from at in Indiana. Everybody calls that place different, but the smoked salmon and horseradish dish. So in a deviled egg Christmas tree. So put a little green food coloring in and some red bell peppers on top, make little ornaments. And then on Sunday we went to Rossville to my husband's side of the family. So we had a lot of
packed weekend.
Great family time. So it was good. How about you?
It was actually a pretty quiet Thanksgiving for us. I've joked with a lot of people that have asked. I mean, I didn't grow up in it's an American holiday. You know, my parents are 100% Filipino. So it's, we did the best we could, but I grew up in a house where sometimes we go to Florida. Sometimes we order Chinese. Sometimes we would, do the traditional, turkey. And then, and Danielle's side, obviously Americanized, that side. So we did a turkey.
You guys do the Scott Calvin, end up at Denny's sometimes, maybe.
I think we probably have. We went through a stretch there. The Riego family went through a stretch there where we didn't spend Thanksgiving here at all. I think we spent it in Florida most of the time. So yeah, there was always, sometimes we would and come to find out, you go to a grocery store and you could buy an entire, I didn't know this at the time. A lot of listeners now, they're yeah, you can have it delivered and all of that stuff. And sure, you can. But back then, I mean, I didn't know. And so, everybody will know this from their youth sports days, but Publix down in Orlando, we just hop into Publix and buy the Thanksgiving dinner, and it's complete and it's good too. Like, it's really good. I don't know if they're, the cranberry would be up to Hank's standards.
Yeah, pretty picky with that stuff.
So, Reggie going to come on?
I'm working on it. I sent him another email, so we'll follow up with him. I mean, I saw a game last night, Greenfield-Central, Bishop Chatard. We talked about Santa. There's a lot of stuff coming up this weekend with the Evansville tournament. Chatard's really good, man. And when we were talking about 3A, it kind of dawned on me that kind of forgot how Chatard fits into that equation in 3A as I shifted back to girls basketball. And I mean, they're deep, they're big, they're strong, and they're sneaky athletic for his bodies there. Like Berzai is a soccer player, so as Courtney knows, that comes with some athleticism and some conditioning. Caskey's shooting the ball a lot more efficiently, it seems like, this season, which is huge for them. Alex Kindle's been really good. Their point guard, Tragister, it continues to develop. There's a lot to like about Chatard, and I was talking to Dan Wagner, their coach, last night. I would love to see that matchup between them and Silver Creek, a rematch of a semi-state actually from three or 4 years ago when Silver Creek nipped them on their way to a second consecutive state finals appearance. So that was interesting to see for Greenfield-Central. They're one of those teams that the schedule isn't the most challenging, which makes it difficult, but the Silcox kid and Cheney Brown are both really good players. Like, they're a lot of fun to watch. I think Greenfield has a lot of potential. I'm interested to see where they go from here. They got a couple challenging games left, but I kind of feel like Chatard's probably going to be their toughest test of the year. And they didn't match up as well inside as I was expecting them to. But still, they fought back. They had it down to within a point, and then Chatard just kind of took off. And that's one of those games where you tip your cap to Chatard for just playing a really good game and then coming out with the win.
And won't Chatard get Gianna Morelli back at some point in time this year too, Hank?
Yeah, so that's the other thing. She was cleared. It sounds like she's a little bit ahead of schedule, but they posted a video of her kind of shooting around. She's been cleared to do pregame warmups.
Yep.
So the hope is that she can come back in January, which would be huge for them. I mean, can you imagine?
That's the front line. That's a front line that would be effective at the 4A level. I mean, that's a really good front line. It's tough. It's experienced. It's battle tested. I mean, and that would be. I mean, but the whole collective team is too. I mean, they had the postseason run last year, but they are battle tested. Like, if you look at like Berzai's ability. I mean, I remember showing a game winner that she hit last year. She hit the one against Mount Vernon Fortville, the one that bounced off the top of the backboard and bounced in. So they seem to have those kids too that can make plays when it's needed. But you had mentioned the remorse of anointing Silver Creek. I mean, I did the same thing. I mean, I think they played Greensburg this weekend. I mean, Greensburg is a team that I saw on film twice and completely blown away. I just think they're really, really good. And I think I'm going to be able to get down to Evansville to see that event. That would be one of the games that I would see, I think, is Greensburg versus Silver Creek. That one will be super fascinating. But if you include Chatard in that kind of who is going to come out of the South side with Silver Creek, Greensburg is going to be right there as well. So there is another. Well, let me see here if I can find it. So there's this event down in Evansville this weekend. And the games are so it's and Tyler Cho puts it on. It's Evansville North Showcase. But Aniah Smith and Avon versus Evansville Central. That's Maddie Shirley, Hamilton Southeastern versus Evansville Memorial. And then that's just the Friday night till on Saturday. Floyd Central and Fishers, Evansville North, Hamilton Southeastern. 1 o'clock Central Time. There's the Silver Creek Greensburg game. 2:30 Castle. Castle's good this year too. Castle versus Crispus Attucks, and then Fishers versus Gibson Southern, and then 6:30 is Greensburg versus Princeton. That's quite the event. Not to mention that I think an hour away will be North Knox, South Knox on the same night, and then earlier that day, the number one team in Indiana. We'll call them the undefeated Lawrence Central team, defending state champ. Even though they had the 1 point loss to GRC, they returned to Kentucky to play at Dixie Heights High School against Sacred Heart, who is their rendition of Lawrence Central. They went undefeated last year, won the state championship. They opened their season last night with a light work 50-point win against a basketball team that had two Division I talents. But they have Sacred Heart. If you guys can get, I mean, I think I've got NFHS, I think, is going to carry the game. I think Sacred Heart or Dixie has a YouTube channel too, I think. But find that link and watch that game. Lawrence Central versus Sacred Heart. Not only are you going to have, Lampley, top player, one of the top players in the 26 class, Jayla Lampley, one of the top players in the 25 class, Abdurraqib and McKenzie, of course, Kensor Garrett. But on the other side, the number one player in the 25 class out of Kentucky, the number 1 or 2 player out of the 26 class, Bree Wilkins, is on Sacred Heart, the number 1 or 2 player in the 27 class, and Amira Jordan, who people know as Tootie Jordan, is out there. I mean, there's going to be a ridiculous amount of talent on that floor. And that is, if you like girls basketball, that it's going to be the best game. And I think, by the way, Lawrence Central is going to get them. I mean, I saw Sacred Heart last night. I just don't know if they have enough.
Yeah. Apologies if I dropped out there, if the audio gets weird or something. I lost power momentarily, but we're back. Not in the dark right now, so that's good. But I'm not sure how much longer this is going to hold out. Reggie hasn't got back to me. It happens. So we'll get him on a later show because I'm really excited to talk to him about the freshman that they have up there at Snyder. Her reputation precedes her down here. I didn't realize also, by the way, how far away Knox County is from Evansville. I didn't realize it was like an hour away. Courtney,
Neither did I.
I did not know that.
No, you could have. I thought they were just in the backyard. My sense of geography anywhere, like including in the Indianapolis area, horrible. I only recently learned that Center Grove is south. Who knew?
You also thought that we live like 30 minutes from Indy.
Who knew?
No.
Yeah, that was something else. So a peek behind the curtain. I don't know who's still listening at this point. I wouldn't be.
No way.
When we did the first
no. So, but those schools now you can take I-60. Now we're talking about traffic patterns, by the way. But they constructed I-69. You previously had to go like all the way out to Terre Haute and then basically turn south on 41. So, yeah, we clip this out.
No, this is staying in there. Let's just get to 40 minutes. Let's see if
as long as we get Hank's favorite cranberry sauce recipe on here, we will be cover every topic.
Hey, Courtney, this is buried enough deep in the show where I Hank's right, no one's listening, but I am curious. Okay.
Yep.
So Maya got boxing one. Okay.
Mm-hmm. What are we talking about now?
I'm going back to the HSE game. Okay. So Maya gets boxing ones. Okay. And it just seemed like HSE as a team just got comfortable. I mean, and I think Maya even got comfortable, kind of almost being a decoy. I mean, they're just running their man stuff against it. But when you got boxing one, okay, because it happens a lot.
I did regularly. I got boxed in one.
Yeah,
you were talking to Courtney.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Courtney. I apologize.
What are the first couple of things that you do as a player? I mean, obviously there's some scheme that comes into it and what you want to do as a coach and who your other teammates are, but you personally, okay, I'm getting boxing one. Okay. What are the first couple of things that need to cross your mind?
Number one, depends on the team you're on. So like if you're on a team where you have, like if you're on at the college level, when you're on a team where there's other stud players on the team, like sometimes your best option is really to stay in the corner and let your other teammates get involved in the game and go 4-on-4 and kind of stay out of the way if you don't have the ball in your hands consistently. But if you're on a team where like you are the team and you have to produce, like my mentality was always, I'm going to see how in shape this other person guard me is. I'm going to run them all over the freaking court. Like it's going to be like a cross country meet and just people will wear out. Like if you're that good of a player and you're getting boxing one, you probably have been taking care of your conditioning, your strength, your basketball. And, like, it's just this mentality that I don't care if there's 1, 2, or 3 players on me. Like, I'm going to dominate all of you guys and move. But you can't just be a decoy if your team actually truly needs you to score the basketball.
Yeah.
And Coach Versa talked to me a lot about that, and because in college it was different. She was like, "I know that you are used to having to like move around, but like honestly, just like I'd be in that corner in front of our bench and Mackie. I can remember it being in my ear, like I'm like, really, just stay here. She's like, yeah, you're fine, and you might be better off just come sit on the bench so that they can do the thing. So, but you're still making an impact. So it's a mentality too. Like when you're a player that you're used to scoring, like if your teammates are getting involved and they're dropping 15 and 20 and your team is winning, like you just got to make winning plays. And if not being a part of the action on offense is what you got to do, and you can impact the game, rebounding, defense, by your leadership and by your presence on the court, that's still a win.
Danny, got any follow-ups?
No, I don't. I mean, it's such a it's such a rare thing for like when I coach, because there's just maybe a little bit more balance. A lot of times they don't, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's easier for me to take the kid that's boxing one and hide them, because, some of the teams that I'm more accustomed to do have other weapons and other ways that you can attack them. But it's tough. I mean, it's tough to take a primary scoring option and make them a decoy. And so I think it's harder, but to Maya's credit tonight, I thought she crashed the glass well. She played both ends of the floor. She guarded, those were things, but it's and we already talked about the game, but that one was a Holman Stidham game and they got it done.
Let me rebuttal the question back to you, Danny. If you have a player, and let's say that you don't have, you're not surrounded by a bunch of other D1 players, or it's not a WNBA team or a college team, like it's a high school team that there's a mix of players. Some of them might not even play in college. How do you help out your player that's being your stud players being boxing one?
Yeah, I think it's on the teammates first. I think the first thing that I would do, there's a certain thing that I like to run against boxing ones. It's very fashionable to screen the inside of the zone. So I would drag it to, kind of key extended, and then I would screen the inside of the zone, but I would do it with the person that was being boxing one. And that's going to take 2 defenders now on that screen. It's going to take the box defender, and it's going to take the defender that's being screened. It's going to take them out of the play. So now you can flood the weak side of the floor. You can put a shooter. You can pick on one zone defender out there. And as long as you occupy that weak side block, I mean, now look, you got to have a point guard that can make that decision on whether it's a kick for 3 or whether it's that little 10-footer from the logo that you were talking about, or whether they can draw that block defender up and then get that little dish down on the block. But that's a set that was given to me a long time ago. I can't even remember by who. Who it was? It was Mark Stevens, who's on the Purdue staff, gave it to me. We call it stretch. So we will run that to try to loosen them up. I think the last time that I coached against a true boxing one where it was a box zone behind it, and we've got kids face guarded every basketball game, but a true boxing one, I think Sydney Parrish maybe was on the roster. Ashlyn Shade was on the roster, and we turned them into screeners.
Genius. Anybody that makes it through the traffic patterns, you just landed gold destination right there. So hopefully you guys listen, take that. And
going in 45 minutes with some really hard hitting analysis at the beginning, a tremendous interview. Tip of the cap to Courtney for that interview with Aniah, and then just fluff. There was a fleeting moment there when I thought maybe I'd screwed up and forgot to send Reggie the link, but just so it's clear, there's no blood on my hands. It's all on Danny's. We're gonna blame this on Danny tonight.
It's totally fine. I'll take it.
Looking ahead to this weekend, Danny, you're gonna be down in Evansville. You mentioned that. I'm really excited to see that. We'll have a recap show on Sunday. Kyle Sokeland's lined up for sure. Tyler Choate, Evansville North coach. Evansville North, by the way, is off to a good start this season.
It's Tyler. Hey man, he just gets it done. He got out sectional last year.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what happens down there. We're also working on a player guest to recap the weekend there. For me, it's Star. Friday night, I think we're going to check out Brownsburg, Franklin-Central. Saturday is TBD, but there's a lot of really good games in the afternoon. Next week is when the real fun and games begin. I don't think we'll talk other than Sunday. Borden-Lanesville is the one that I'm most excited about on Thursday. I was looking at the list. There's also Marion County tournaments we're going to get to see. Pike, LC. If things go chalk, we'll see LC, LN. Probably LN, by the way, bounced back with a nice win over Carmel. I think Westfield.
Bookmark that, Keith. Bookmark that, Keith.
I said if it goes chalk. I wasn't making any predictions, but yes, Keith, please bookmark it and do whatever with it. LC is going to roll if that helps. God, I hope nobody else is listening to this at this point. But Westfield, Zionsville, I think Westfield also plays Carmel. Westfield, I don't think we mentioned them in the recap show, but I was looking at Fab 15. Westfield's had some really close games, like a point against Pike, a point against Franklin-Central. Or they beat Franklin-Central by a point. I think Mount Vernon by 2 points. So Westfield's been punching in there, hanging in there against some quality teams. So Kelsey got that team trending in the right direction, or that program trending in the right direction. I feel like every year they keep getting closer and closer. After graduating,
because they guard, Hank. I mean, they defend. That team defends, and they're the narrative on Kelsey's teams the last couple of years has always been, can they score enough? So that will always remain the question. But if you guard, you're going to be in games.
Yeah.
I mean, they had like Noblesville held HSC to 49 tonight. It's why they're in the game. I mean, it wasn't because they traded punches. They didn't really trade punches. I mean, Kate Rollins got a couple corner threes, which was nice. Quigley did a great job at occupying some space down there, finishing at the basket. Tipner did her best in being the center of their defense to try to get her volume. I think she got to 19 or 20. But yeah, Westfield guards. They definitely guard people. Speaking of guarding, by the way, I just knowing we mentioned Tyler Choate's name earlier, I would suspect that he was watching that game tonight and would not be surprised to see a box face zone on Saturday. So we will see.
I'll end it with this, and it's a thing that Courtney likes to say a lot, and that is defense usually wins championships. So thank you for that little tidbit of wisdom, Courtney. I'm going to poach it and use it as my own. We thank you all so much for watching. Nobody's still watching at this point. If you are, seek professional help because, goodness, I'm just assuming you fell asleep with the radio on or whatever. Because I would have tapped out of the traffic and cranberry sauce chat myself. We thank you all so much for watching. Danny and I, maybe Courtney too, will talk to you again on Sunday. See you later.